The tomb of Ramses III's military commander has been discovered in Egypt alongside burials from the late period to the Greco-Roman period. Note, I will be looking at burials mainly with skeletonized remains. These remains were discovered by Egyptian archaeologists in Tel el-Mashuka and Tel Ruden Iskander, and this gives a lot of insight into the strategic military past of the Egyptians. I will note a lot of these pictures are not labeled and there are multiple images of burials, so it's actually unclear which burial is from the military commander and which are other burials. The tomb was built out of mud brick and contains a central chamber and then 3 adjoining rooms. Now their walls are actually still coated with the remains of white plaster, which is amazing. And I believe this is the image of that particular burial with the burial chamber being right here. This, I believe, is an image of that tomb prior to kind of the removal of all these extra objects and then the removal of what seems to me at least a wooden, very badly decomposed coffin, or possibly cartonnage, which is used in multiple different layers as kind of a sort of paper mache. Inside, the researchers found a skeleton covered in cartonnage, a material that is used in funerary masks, suggesting the tomb that actually had been reused in the later period. And alongside the remains were a cache of weapons, including arrowheads and a Heka scepter, strong indicators of the deceased high military rank. Here we have those arrowheads. And here is going to be the top of the Heka scepter. These well-preserved alabaster jars were also found in this tomb and give 2 cartouches bearing the name of King Horemheb, who was one of the most significant military leaders and warrior kings in the 18th dynasty. This is also one of the beautiful vessels that was found and has those lovely cartouches of Horemheb. The thing that gives us the indication that this may have originally dated to the tomb of Ramses III, and thus maybe it was one of his military commanders, was the ring that I showed in the first slide, because that is the cartouche of Ramses III, and he is the king who defended Egypt from the Sea Peoples, but he's also the one that got assassinated in the Harem conspiracy. The article kind of stops there. It doesn't actually talk much about the other late period and Greco-Roman burials that were discovered, but they do provide other pictures. It essentially seems like the tomb that was originally dated to the time period of Ramses III probably was reused in the late period or the Greco-Roman period, so it makes sense that there are nearby tombs dating to that period. This is another tomb that was mentioned. I will say they are using the word tomb, but these are more likely just kind of middle-class burials that are don't really have much of a superstructure. Also, look at this beautiful carnelian scarab.